Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kick. Welcome to Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I like to keep the show to about 90 minutes. Kippolicious. Be sure you get that schmedium every Tuesday night. Full tilt boogie. Kippolicious. Good evening, everyone. Twisted Tea. Good evening, everyone. Be sure you get that schmedium. Twisted Tea. Hippopotamus. Cold beverage. Schmedium. Midler. Out in BFE. Out in BFE. At the end of the day, full. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Full tilt boogie.
It's been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
We're here at the Denso NHRA 4Y Nationals here in Las Vegas. Man, we have got two-time funny car, top fuel champion, Cruz Pedregon here, icon of the sport. Dude, we just so appreciate you taking the time. But I got to ask you, so we know in 1986, you were driving go-karts. And a year later, you're in a dragster. What made that change of going from wanting to do, track racing to running down straight track racing?
I started out with something I could afford. So there was a little dirt track, or a few dirt track races in Southern California that I started racing. Like I said, I could afford it. They're still expensive, but I always had my eye on drag racing. So I caught the eye of an owner that had a low budget team, started out very humble beginnings. I basically worked for food. I worked to race for nothing. So, but I started out, you couldn't have started out further down the ladder than I did, but I'm glad I did, because I was able to parlay that into driving for a bigger team through the years, won a championship, and here we are. I own my own team. I've been in business for like 15 years now, or 20 years on my own with Snap-on and KICKER and all the great sponsors. So very exciting time.
Cruz, we know you're super passionate about what you do. We're curious, what drives you, what refuels you off the track when you're at home?
Well, I have a daughter now, so it's, I just love my daughter. She's going on 8 years old. So, priorities change a little bit, but I've always had this passion for racing, so much so that that's all I would do morning, noon, and night. I would think about it when I got up. I go to bed at night. Racing was my entire life, and it still is, but I share a little bit of that during the off time with my daughter, Raya, and my girlfriend, Melissa. So, it's one of those things where the desire to perform at this level and to do it, I feel like I have my best years ahead of me. I have so much more experience than I did when I started out that I want to put that to good use. So here we are.
That's awesome. Well, man, I tell you, KICKER is super proud to be associated with you. We're blessed to be part of, the team and helping out. And hey, now that we've got this killer PA system back here jamming the pits, what's that mean for you and your team and your guests and everybody in your organization?
Well, having a brand like KICKER, number one, is an honor for us, really. I know it's a brand that goes way back. Heck, we've all heard of them. So for them to be, you guys support us like you do is really an honor for us. But we want to do our part on the racetrack and put your guys' name out there. But as far as what you guys just created for us was really cool. I didn't have any idea the quality of sound with all the noise, all the race cars starting, all the voices and all the generators running, that we could still hear loud and clear the PA system. So thanks to KICKER, great product, and we have a lot of Snap-on guests that are invited to come out here as part of the customer service to say thank you to the Snap-on customers for buying the tools. So it's a great opportunity for us to speak to them but not have to yell. So they appreciate it. Like I say, the brand speaks for itself. It's quality. So, we're tickled to have them.
Well, thank you so much, man. Look, after 32 some years of blasting down the track, pulling 4Gs, what keeps you pushing to do this, man?
It's amazing because you never get used to these cars. Like, my eyes still burn like everybody else. They're still loud, but they accelerate. Every run is like a new run. You never know what they're going to do, but I feel like I have a little bit less stress because I kind of know what the car is supposed to do and what it feels like to make a good run. So, like I said, as a driver, yeah, I've got a few miles on me, but I think in this sport, you can still be a little older and still be able to perform at a high level. So that's what I look at as I don't feel like I'm a deficient guy in this driver's seat. If anything, I hope I can bring something to it. But the day's going to come. Hey, I'm an owner and I have a fast car. The day's going to come where, hey, I'm going to want to look at a younger driver and somebody, to replace me so I can maintain ownership and maybe tune that guy into a championship or gal, whoever. So, but it's a business. I look at it as a business. It has to make sense down the road, but I'm not looking, I'd say another 4 or 5 years in this seat. I'm good.
Hey, I know you're running tight on time. You got a last qualifying run. Again, we're blessed to be with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We love you, brother.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
See you.
Flash! This just in. Extra low frequencies detected emanating from the heavens. Saucer-shaped objects confirmed all over the world. Unidentified flying K saucers spotted delivering Kicker's amazing new Comp Q super woofer. Built for precision, built for abuse, built for the future and benefit of mankind. Kicker's new Comp Q woofer leaves audiences astounded and amazed as it reveals subtleties in their favorite music in a way that is sure to make women blush and grown men cry. The surround features Kicker's variable cross-section high-roll design, allowing extended cone travel and excellent cone control. It's firmly attached to the cone, reinforced with our iconic stitching. Betsy Ross would be so proud. The injection molded solo cone and laser X cone brace combined in a single ultra-rigid unit. Venting in the brace relieves performance-robbing back pressure. All this adds up to very low distortion and amazingly clean low bass. The progressive roll blue lace spider adds even more cone control at maximum excursion. The woven tinsel leads are sandwiched between the spider and the lace for durability and long life and to prosper. The spring terminal's heavy-duty square design accepts wires as big as 8-gauge or two 12-gauge wires for multi-sub installations. The high-temp voice coil is rumored to be spun upon the looms of the gods of polyamide fiberglass, along with a reinforced former for high strength and power handling. Now, add colossal magnets, plus a cavernous bump backplate, an extended pole piece created in a single forging, the likes that haven't been seen since the creation of Poseidon's trident. And the result is a driver with superior control and effective heat dissipation that extreme performance demands. The all-new Kicker Comp Q is designed from the ground up to deliver everything you demand from a premium subwoofer. High output, deep, powerful, accurate bass, remarkably small enclosure requirements, stunning good looks, and not to mention the ability to frighten small children when turned up to 11. So there you have it. The all-new Kicker Comp Q subwoofer. Another zenith of innovation and epic majesty from Kicker.
I built my first speaker to be louder. I was playing in a band and the drummer played so loud and the keyboard that I had wouldn't play very loud. And I went to my dad and said, I need a bigger speaker. It's a Fender Bandmaster, it costs $300. He dropped the newspaper. It said, $300. Yeah, but he didn't say no. He said, is it something that we could build? And so that's how I got started building speakers. The thing that I love to see is a product that we made and get to stand back kind of anonymously and watch somebody take a look at it, listen to it and go, wow. I think that's what really lights my fires, to make products that people enjoy and have fun with. As time went on, I heard people say, you know, Kicker's like a family. I actually didn't set out to do that. I thought it sounded kind of hokey. I thought they were insincere and just saying that. After a few years, I realized, yeah, maybe that's what we've got. And that's the key, is the good people on your team in the band that makes the band really great. Well, I think Kicker is primarily a lifestyle company. That's a little backwards of where I started. I thought we were a technology company and we would make great products, but as time went on, realized that it's about people and helping people to enjoy their life and what they do. And that's what I do too. So share the love a little bit, I guess.
Good evening, everyone. It is 7:30 Tuesday night, Central Time. You know what's up. It is Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Thank you all for tuning in this evening. Hopefully we have some show content here that you're going to find interesting tonight. We do have a very special guest joining us this evening. I'm going to go give him a little shout out right now. He'll be on in the next 10 minutes or so, and that is going to be MB from MB Enclosure. A lot of you out there may already follow him over on his YouTube channel. If you don't, you need to go check it out. That's MB Enclosure. You can find him on YouTube. He puts out a lot of great information. He talks about it straight from the heart. The man knows what he's doing. We're going to have a good time with him tonight. We're going to talk about enclosure design, woofers, bass, all those kinds of things with our good friend MB from MB Enclosure. That's coming up just a little bit later tonight in tonight's show, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, as you know, we always have a habit here at Kicker Unmasked Live of getting together. The team right here, as always. I got Tim back there on cameras tonight. I see him walking around the back. Got Ernie in the back on the main switcher. JW is helping him out. And Bill Frog, as always, monitoring the social feed and questions out there. If you have any good questions, something you want to ask about tonight's show or a topic about car audio in general, please post those up into the comment feed. We will never get to them all, but we do pull out the good ones, or at least JW and Bill Frog find the ones, and they throw them up here so we can try to answer some questions for you here during the show. And more importantly, when we get MB on the show here in just a little bit, I hope you have a ton of questions for that gentleman because he is definitely a master at his art. So with that said, real quick, if this is your first time on the show, we'll give you a little bit of information you don't even know. If this is your second, third, or 33rd time on the show, we're actually up to episode like 48, right, Ernie? He thinks it's 50. I can't keep track, but we're getting up there, folks. We're getting close to hitting that 1 year mark, and we're going to do something exciting when we do that as well. So you always want to stay tuned to Kicker Unmasked Live. But if you're new to the show, we have a habit every Tuesday night. We actually start a drawing. We kick it off right at 7:15 when we start what we call our pre-roll. That's the Kicker commercials and the athletes and influencers and all the people who like Kicker and like to do that stuff. That's all that stuff we show from 7:15 to 7:30. We kick the show off live right at 7:30. But tonight, like all Tuesday nights, we have a giveaway. We start at 7:15, we end it at 8:30, and then we draw 3 lucky winners from the people who are watching the show and announce and give away prizes just for the Tuesday night people who attend. So, Ernie, if you will, real quick, if you'll bring my laptop up as an asset, I'm going to switch over to this real fast. What you're going to want to do, folks, you want to, between now and 8:30 Central Time, and understand whenever I talk about a time, it's going to be Central Time here in the United States of America, so 8:30 CST. You want to get over to kicker.com/UM Weekly. When you do, you can see here by my screen, it says 56 minutes left because I had this loaded and ready to go before the show, so it's actually active already. We're going to have 3 winners tonight, as always. Grand prize winner tonight, man, check it out. You're going to be on the hook for 2 10-inch Q-Class subwoofers, dual 2-ohm coils. You're going to get a Kicker car tag and one of our limited edition Kicker Unmasked Live t-shirts. You can only get that t-shirt by tuning into the show here on Tuesday night. Second place is going to be the shirt, the Kicker tag as well, but we're going to get you a set of the Tabor 2 Bluetooth wireless headphones. And then third place, same thing, Kicker tag, Unmasked Live t-shirt, and then we're going to hook you up with a set of the EB300 wireless earbuds. So those are going to be a fantastic prize right there. That's going to be at 8:30. We close that contest out. We will announce the winners before 9 o'clock. And as I'm looking, I've got my housekeeping stuff we do here, and obviously this is one of my housekeeping things that I do. I'm going to roll over here to another one real quick while Ernie's got us up right here. And if you're at kicker.com, or as you're doing your Unmasked weekly giveaway thing, if you're right here at kicker.com, you'll notice right here we have, this is called a banner, and this is the Unmasked Live weekly banner right here. If you guys will go to that banner and click it, it's going to take you directly to the page about Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. It kind of tells you, of course, when it is. It's every Tuesday, 7:30, YouTube, Facebook. But I want you to scroll down. Oh, hey, the teaser for the tonight's show. There's MB. But I'm going to scroll on down. You guys asked about it. So here it is at the bottom of the Unmasked page. And like I said, to get there, go to kicker.com, main page, kicker.com, and then hit the banner at the top for Unmasked Weekly. And when you get down to the bottom, you can see we now have the KIP wrap. We have it up there available in just about any flavor anyone would need to play it in your ride, your car, your headphone, your portable media player, whatever you like. We've got AAC, which, of course, that is the Apple compressed M4A. We have it up there in ALEC, which is also M4A, which is an Apple format, but ALLC means Apple lossless. So that is a fully uncompressed version of it that hasn't been run through any kind of compression algorithm. Then next to that, we've got two MP3s that are constant bit rates, one at a 256, the other one at a 320. Then down below that, if you're an open source kind of guy, we've got it available in FLAC, and FLAC stands for free lossless audio coding. So FLAC and ALEC are very similar. ALLC is Apple's version of a lossless encoder. FLAC is the one that it's actually based off of. So FLAC here is the open source lossless encoded version. Next to that, we got a variable bitrate MP3 at the highest quality available, MP3. And then for those of you who want to start and do your own thing, we got it available in a full uncompressed wave format right there for you at that, right next to that last one. So 7 files are up. They're ready to download. We've had a lot of people ask about wanting to get these files. We wanted to find a way to make it happen. And this was, for us, probably the easiest way to get out there so you guys could see the tracks and you'll be able to download them. And again, just real quick, for those that didn't notice, I'm going to go back to the homepage. You're just at kicker.com right here at the homepage. Click the banner right here. This is the Unmasked Live Weekly banner. When you click that, it takes you right to the Unmasked page. Scroll to the bottom, and right there are the 7 files. So Robert Hi-Fi Vega and all the other people out there who have been asking for the last couple of weeks for the files, there they are. They're up. They're ready to download. They are available for the amazing low price of free $99. So go check them out. They are now up. They're now available. And while you got me up here, Ernie, I'm going to go ahead and slip over here. I'm going to bounce around a little bit in order on the housekeeping. But since we're here, events. You know, everyone wants to know where Kicker's going to be, events related. As you know, we've had to personally pull out of attending a lot of events in person for the remainder of 21 due to what's going on out in the world. And so we're still involved. We're still sponsored. We're still doing stuff. We got our guy, Lauren Morrell. He's out in the field. He's actually doing a lot of these in-live events for us. Thank you, Lauren, if you're tuned in tonight. And I know you watch the show every now and again. But just to give you an idea, events coming up, October 23rd through 24th, Midwest Finals, Midwest SPL Finals. That's going to be up in Sedalia, Missouri. Just go to the Kicker Facebook page, click on events, and all of these are listed in the section there. You can click on any event you want to give you further details, links to the website or to their Facebook page on the event. So October 23rd, 24th, Midwest SPL Finals be happening in Sedalia, Missouri. Then we've got the 2021 Sound Quality Car Audio Championships. That's going on in Bentonville, Arkansas. That's also October 23rd. If you're in the area and that event appeals to you, go check it out. Kicker is a sponsor of both those events. Saturday, October 23rd, we're also going to be at the Extreme Motorcycle Racing in Reno, Nevada. That's going to be our board, Lauren. Is that correct, JW? Yes, sir. He will be there, and then Lauren turns around. He's a busy man. He's going to then strut his stuff over to Denver, Colorado, and he will be at the AMA Endurocross, and that's October 29th. Those both are really cool events. If you're into extreme motorcycle racing, if you like AMA Endurocross, Kicker's going to be there on Lauren Morrell. You can check out some Kicker gear, ask some questions, and enjoy a great night of entertainment. And then last but not least, we've talked about this before. We're going to talk about it again before we get there. It is the great Showdown show coming up at the Great Las Vegas Taco Festival. That is in Las Vegas, Nevada, with our good friend Steve Barber from Sharton on him. This show is fantastic. It's going to be an actual car show. It's going to be a sound quality judging show. It's going to be an SPL show. There's going to be live music. There is food. It's called the Great Las Vegas Taco Festival for a reason. There's going to be lots of food trucks out there serving up some fantastic food. You want to check that out. So those are the events. We always keep these updated on our events page. And then Ernie, if you'd like, go ahead and bring me back to camera, whichever one you like. There you go. There I am. So speaking of events, oh, there he goes. I'm on your game. I'm on your game. Speaking of events, got to bring this up. I only want to touch it because it's not meant to be funny, but it's a little funny. But it also means you got to stay in touch on anything that's announced through social media, whether it's on Kicker Unmasked Live or any other many fine folks that we do business with, as far as sharing things, having events, partnering up together. And the one I'm talking about is the Old School Stereo Meet that was scheduled to be this past Saturday. That event was canceled well over a month back. We had to unfortunately make the decision when we pulled out of any live in-person events for Kicker as a company. Everything got canceled. We're not going to see them. It affects a lot of other things too. But we canceled that show. We made the announcement on the show live. We made the announcement through all of our social. We even went on live with 12 Volt Talk which is Robert and Hi-Fi Vegas show. And that's really kind of where Old School Stereo Meat has got its meat and potatoes there, because that's their event. So we did everything we could to announce the show was canceled. Having the Old School Fall Meet was canceled for having that here last Saturday. Unfortunately, we had a couple people show up. So they got to go try, I hope they got to go try some of the best chili cheese fries that are available, cheese, bacon, chili, whatever you like, over at Eskimo Joe's. But we did have just a few people show up because they didn't reach out and check on the event before they got into their cars and headed this way. They didn't obviously check any social because I was up about that. So one thing I will say when it comes to events, guys, if you're going to get in a car and you're going to come to anything that's kicker related, always check the social media page. Reach out and make sure that event's still going on before you drive that distance. We love to visit and love to see you, but normally on a Saturday we're closed here, so there really was nobody here at the building to greet you or meet you. Fortunately, I think our security guy was out in the parking lot that afternoon here doing some stuff, and he actually let a couple people who showed up know that, yeah, there is no event this weekend. So wanted to just touch base on that. It's kind of funny, kind of humorous, but always check the social media pages, check Facebook or any other people we're doing the event with, and make sure that event is still going on before you get in your vehicle and head any direction. So with that said, I do want to talk about that. We always like to give just a small shout out. We did have dinner tonight, as always. It's kind of our pre-meeting thing we do here before the show. Tonight was Texas Roadhouse, and it was mighty, mighty tasty. Who doesn't like a little bit of Texas Roadhouse? I know we did. So if you're watching, I know you watch the show a lot, Mr. Irby. Thank you, Mr. Irby. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Thank you, everybody in the command chain, for letting us guys get together, have a little meal on the company before we kick the show off. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. On your way out the door tonight, folks, when the show is over, do JW, because he's the one back there who does it. Do us both a favor. Smash that thumbs up button on the way out the door if you've enjoyed the content on the show. Anytime you give us a like and or subscribe on our channel, it helps us have the power to go to our bosses and say, hey, we're getting requests for this. People are liking the show. They're liking this. It helps give us the power to do other cool, creative things on the show, to do other tests, other demos, bring in other guests. So you don't have to do it right now. But if you do, on the way out the door, if you like it, hit that thumbs up button. And along those same lines, if you have any questions or recommendations for the show, a guest you'd like to see come on the show, a topic you'd like to see covered, a particular kicker product you may want to know about, drop that into an email to social@kicker.com. That gets you straight into Bill Frog's inbox. He pulls all that stuff together. He brings it to the meetings that we have here on the show and helps us decide what we're going to put on the show for you guys, what kind of demos we can create and come up with. It's all great information. We need it because this show is for everyone who's tuned in and watching. So please, if you have an idea, something you'd like to see, we do want those things, reach out. Social@kicker.com. Send us that information. We want to cover that. So I'm just looking through my housekeeping stuff here to see if I've covered everything. The song download, I got that taken care of. That's good, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't even know how to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. 2 weeks ago, we pulled and announced our big winner of our contest that we did with Brian Schmidt at Mobile Solutions. And that is a huge thing. It's his Master Tech Expo that's coming up in March. It's a seat to that event. Kicker and him, we're working together on this. We're picking up your plane flight to and from the event. We're picking up your hotel room at the event. We're giving you $350 hollahs so that you can pick up drinks or meals, whatever you need to do while you're there. It was a prize package well over $2,000, well over. We drew our first winner. He had 7 days to reply, and he did not reply. So by the rules of the contest, if you don't reply in 7 days after you're announced, you forfeit the prize, and we move on to the second winner. We are now pulled a second winner. Bill has reached out to him. And so tonight, Bill, if you got it in a scrollable that you can put up, thank you, sir. It's Chris H. from Connecticut. Chris H. is our second winner that we pulled from Connecticut. So if you are tuned into the show tonight, please reply to Bill at social@kicker.com. It's in the scrolling at the bottom. Bill's email's right down in there. If any of you out there know who we're talking about, otherwise, if you happen to know Chris H. from Connecticut, tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, bro, you might want to throw an email over to Kicker because they pulled you as the next winner for the show. Straight up, if we do not hear back from this gentleman before Friday at midnight, and that's the rules and stipulations of the contest, we give you a full 7 days. But if we don't hear back from him by midnight, we will pull another winner, and we will announce them on the show next week, and Bill will reach out to them as well. We really want to find a winner for this contest. I'm crazy that the first guy didn't respond. Hopefully he's okay. But we got our second winner pulled. It's Chris H. from Connecticut. If you're out there tonight watching, or if you're friends with him, please tap him on the shoulder, hit up social@kicker.com. We want to get the prize into your hands. So thank you for scrolling that, Bill. You can leave it up as long as you want to. Tonight, I'm hoping that JW's got some good questions to put up on the screen or some shout outs we're going to put on here, but I actually saved one here in my feed on the computer that came in before the show started. And if any of you have ever had an opportunity to work with StreamYard or been a host or a guest on a StreamYard, it only holds about 100 comments at a time. And once you lose those 100, you can't get them back. So I just froze my screen to stay at this first one here. So John Martin brought up a question. I want to put it up on the screen here. He says, John Martin, does anybody know how to get subs to play harder at lower volume? So I have an aftermarket Halo 9 head unit, two 1010 TW3 subwoofers powered by an 800-watt audio control amplifier. So John, there's some things I have to assume as I'm answering this question for you. And I know Andy McGill and maybe a lot of other people in the feed that can help you on this, but here's what it boils down to. I'm going to assume your gain is set properly on your amplifier. I'm going to assume you've got an enclosure tuned and designed properly to play the music you listen to and the right output from the enclosure. I'm going to assume all those things are correct, because those are all things that if you haven't got those right yet, you're never going to get great sound out of your subwoofers at any volume. But I'm going to assume all those are good. What happens by the human ear is we are not as sensitive to low frequency at lower volume. And that is why if you look at any radio that's out there on the market, most of them have what's called a loudness control. And really what that loudness control does, and the technical term for it, everyone calls it loudness in the industry, but what it is called the Fletcher-Munson curve. So if you have anybody want to Google and educate yourself a little bit further on this, you can. But what a loudness control does is it boosts the bass and it boosts the treble at low volumes. And as you turn the volume up on your radio, you're going to reach a certain volume level, and every radio is going to be different. So don't ask me to tell you what it is. It could be volume 17 out of 40. It could be 23 out of 40. It could be anything out of 40 or 50 or 60, whatever your display has on it. But when you hit that certain volume level, that Fletcher-Munson curve is going to turn off. And what that's designed to do is to give you more bass and more treble at lower volumes. So assuming everything in your system is correct, it is still possible that at low volume, you're just not getting the perceived amount of bass or treble that you'd like at that volume level because your ear is not as sensitive to it at low volume. So a loudness control, even though there are cases that I don't like a loudness control is kind of an automatic way to make it happen. The best way to make it happen, in my opinion, is everything's right, is at lower volume, go in and just boost the gain on your subwoofers a little bit using your remote bass level control. Or go into the EQ on your radio. Hopefully you have some kind of an EQ in the radio. Most any modern radio today has a 5 or a 7 or a 9-band EQ. And you can go in there and maybe create yourself a preset there, where you're boosting everything at, below 60 hertz or below 80 hertz. You've got a little ramp up in your bottom end. And understand you can use that at low volume as long as you're not overdriving your subwoofers. Now you get into something you really like. You want to increase that volume. You're going to start driving your woofers harder. You're going to have to turn around and take some of that EQ back out, or you're going to overdrive your subwoofers too early. You're going to drive your amp into clipping too early. So understand, I'm assuming everything in your system's correct. Everything's good, but you're noticing that at low volume, you don't get as much bass as you like, and that's because of the way we hear, the Fletcher-Munson curve, and a little button called loudness. So hopefully that helps you out, John. If it's other issues, you don't have your gain set properly, if your enclosure isn't giving you the right output from your subs, if they're choked off and they're just not playing well, that is a whole other bag of issues, and some of those we can even address with MB when he's on here in a little bit. So hopefully that answers your question, John. Go ahead, Jeremy. Aaron S. How has the chip shortage affected Kicker? Aaron, in everything. Here's what I'll say. The chip shortage for us, a lot of our amplifiers use a DSP. The Key 200.4 uses a DSP. The Key 500.1 uses a DSP. The Key Lock uses a DSP. All of the KX amplifiers use DSPs. All of the KX MA Marine amplifiers use DSP. Power Sports amplifiers use DSPs. DSPs are a really good way for us to be able to get into an amplifier and give the end user a good tweakability. It's more reliable. It's more accurate. There's a whole range of reasons why we use DSPs and amplifiers. And yeah, the chip shortage, it's affected us a lot. The thing is, it's not just a chip shortage that we're going through. So when you use the word chip, I'm assuming you need a microprocessor. We're going through a shortage on everything. Transistors, capacitors, resistors, diodes, you name it. It's an industry-wide shortage on just parts, period. And if you've tuned into the show before, you've heard me say it. It's why they currently have 30,000 plus trucks parked out at the Louisville Speedway in Kentucky. It's because Ford can't even get the parts they need to fully assemble and build body computer modules, BCMs, or electronic control modules, ECMs. BCM and ECM are two words you hear a lot in cars because cars have gotten so modernized that they're used everywhere. And so it's affecting everything. It's affecting TVs. It's affecting touchscreen laptops, touchscreen computers, touchscreen in-dash monitors, whether it's for car or home. The shortage is affecting everything. As for KICKER, what we've done is we're doing everything in our power to make sure we're in line. We are paying for parts well in advance. I mean, we're actually buying parts that we won't even see for 2+ years. We're in line. Because if you don't get in line now and pay for the parts and have them available, you're not going to see them. So the longer you wait to get in line, the longer you're not going to get anything. So we're making the right decisions. We're focusing on the most popular products that we sell to make sure that we're taking the parts we can get and we're filling that need. And then as things loosen up and get better, we will find a way to broaden what we can offer to every KICKER fan out there. But we're doing the best we know how, the best we can. Dealers tell us we're doing a great job. That's their view. We're here at KICKER, and we just feel bad that we can't provide everything on a timely basis, but we know we're doing everything we can. So, Aaron, thank you for that question. That's a great question. How does a chip shortage affect your KICKER? And I'd say in a very big way. Michael Gray, is turning on loudness a good thing? Michael, loudness is not a bad thing. Here's the thing you have to realize. When you set the gains to your amplifier properly, you want to make sure loudness is off, any kind of bass equalization is off, any kind of bass boost is off, and any kind of enhancer circuit. A lot of the modern radios, they have some kind of music enhancer circuit. You want to make sure all that stuff's off. You want to make sure your bass and treble are set to the middle position or zero, flat. And that's when you go to the 3/4 volume output on your radio. You go to your amplifier and you watch the clipping indicator on the amp if it's built in, like a lot of ours are. And if not, then you're going to need a tool like DD1, or you're going to need to have an O-scope. You're going to need some way to properly set the gain on your amplifier. There's a lot of ways to do it. How you decide to do it's up to you, but you want to set your gain properly so that 3/4 volume on your radio, your amplifier is at full, clean, unclipped output. And then if you were to turn your radio up one notch, then you're starting to clip your amplifier. That gives you enough headroom so that on quieter music, you can still get good volume out of your amplifier, covers all that. Gain is gain. Doesn't matter if gain is across the board, which a gain control on your amplifier, or the volume knob on your radio. That increases the volume of all frequencies, all the music coming out of your radio, all at the same time. Equalization, bass boost, loudness controls, bass enhancers, music enhancers, bass and treble controls, 7-band EQs, any of those are all, when you go in and you start cranking it up or cranking it down, you are adding gain or taking away gain at a specific frequency. So you may be in your car and everything's set properly and your radio clips at 33 out of 40 and you've set your amplifier to clip at 33 out of 40. But if you start doing a lot of boosting and equalization at your radio, you're going to find that 33 out of 40 is not what you're clipping anymore. Clipping now may be 28 out of 40 or 27 out of 40. It just depends on how much boost you're doing and at what frequencies. So understand, loudness is not a bad thing. Bass boost is not a bad thing. EQs are not a bad thing. All those enhancers are not bad things. Just understand, anytime you turn those on to alter the sound, to increase the sound at a specific range of frequencies, you are driving your amplifier harder, which means you're driving your speakers harder. You're going to get the clipping sooner on your volume knob. So just keep that in mind. Now, loudness, the way it's designed, typically loudness auto turns itself off as you turn the volume up. So what you should find is if you've set the gain properly on your radio, 3/4 volume, your loudness should have turned off well before that. And the way you can tell is turn it on and off. If you're at 3/4 volume, your loudness is still engaged, that's a pretty aggressive loudness, and I'd probably make sure I turn that off. So the key is, you want more output of a specific frequency at lower volume, you can do it with loudness or EQ or however you want. Just understand you can't leave it there as you start turning the volume up. So now you want to start cranking and turning it up, you're going to have to bring those controls back down. Or just understand that full volume on your radio now with all that other boosting you've done is not at 3/4 volume, but it's below that. Hopefully that answers your question, Michael. It's a deep subject we could go into for the complete show, and maybe sometime we need to. We could certainly set up a demo here with some radios and an O-scope and get much deeper into it. And if that interests you, hit Bill Frog, let him know. Fred Johnson, why do manufacturers overrate subwoofer with high peak wattage and give a low wattage RMS number? Well, Fred, that's a really good question. And here's the thing that's probably going to blow your mind, and this is something we need to do for another show. First off, RMS is not a power rating on a speaker. Never was, never will be. RMS is a measure of power. Okay, so it's really, people have just gravitated to when they see the word RMS, that just means continuous or average or what the speaker's rated to handle. RMS doesn't mean that. RMS is about the power. RMS is not about the power rating. So if someone says that the continuous power rating or the musical power rating of a speaker is 150 watts RMS, what they're simply telling you is that 150 watts measured using the root mean square equation to come up with power, that's where we rate this speaker. Now, gets a little dicey there, but I could go two different ways with you on this. The first one is manufacturers flat out lie. And what they do is they put big peak numbers on speakers and amplifiers. They'll put it on amplifiers and the amplifier will never make it, and they'll put it on speakers and that speaker will never handle it. But what they're trying to do is show you that their speaker at that price point is a better value. If you buy speakers and if you buy amplifiers just by looking at peak numbers, you're fooling yourself, and I can't help you. We put peak numbers on our products as well. We're going to be moving to dynamic numbers here very soon because even we're tired of the peak numbers on amplifiers because it doesn't tell you really anything. And that's another deep subject even to get into in itself. But RMS numbers, which have kind of become the de facto way people rate speakers, is meaning RMS means that's what it handles continuous. It's actually continuous power handling or musical power handling. And that number is always going to be more realistic. And the more exaggerated you find the peak number, the more the company is trying to kind of pull the wool over your eyes. And that's the best way I can tell you. Industry average for just about any company who's trying to play ball but not be ridiculous is if this is a 400 watt speaker, we're going to call it 800 watts peak. If this is a 600 watt RMS speaker, we're going to call it 1200 watts peak. Double RMS seems to be the industry average or the way the industry does it, so that we can at least, a company that's being honest about their power ratings can try to compete with the ones who lie. But the bottom line is there's tons of speakers out there that they'll tell you it's 150 watts RMS and tell you it's 1,000 watts peak or 1,500 watts peak. I've seen them. Best advice to you, Fred, ignore peak numbers. I don't care what brand it is. Ignore peak numbers. They don't mean anything on a speaker. So hopefully that answers your question. Fred, anything else, JW? Ooh, Ragix Tico? I kept wanting to say taco. I just ate. Can't be hungry. If I were to connect 4 coaxials to a 4-channel amplifier, is it okay to only use the high-pass filters on the amp to keep the 20 to 35s range out? Absolutely. That's what the high-pass cross filters or crossovers on an amplifier are for. And if you're using 4 coaxials, now you didn't state the size of your coaxials there. I can tell you this. If all you have is coaxial speakers in your car and nothing else, if you don't have a subwoofer, you're probably going to want to that 20 to 35. So if you want to do basically a high pass at 35 hertz or a high pass at 40 hertz, that's probably acceptable. That'll help give you some control, not overexert the drivers too much. But I will tell you this, it also kind of depends on the size of the speakers. A 4-inch driver is not capable of playing down as low or as loud at that low volume as, say, a good 6.5 or a good 8 or anything like that. So size of speaker does matter. But I'll tell you this, if you don't have a subwoofer, that's probably an okay range. If you have a subwoofer, you need to cross those speakers higher than that. The most common crossover point for high-passing coax products is if you tell someone just a number to start with, it's 80 hertz. So you want a high pass at 80 hertz to whatever coax product you're using. And that will mostly cover your 6x9s, your 6.5s, even a 5 1/4. 4-inch drivers, you should probably go a little bit higher than that. 4-inch driver, you should probably be up around 120 to maybe 200 in that range. And that's if you have a subwoofer. So hopefully that answers your question. Keep in mind, as we're answering these questions on the show, if you guys have any specific questions on kicker gear, always remember that you can reach out and talk to a Kicker tech Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. Remember, anytime we stayed here, it's always Central Standard Time. It's 800-256-0808. That's the phone number to get you straight into Kicker. Human being's going to answer that phone every time. Tell them you want to speak to someone in tech support. They can give you a hand, whether it's designing a box for your Kicker subwoofer, asking questions about crossover points, power handling, speaker wire size, power wire size, any of that. Reach out to us at kicker.com Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 on that phone number. And if you prefer to do it via email, it's always support@kicker.com. Larry Keller, why would I want a 1,000-watt subwoofer if my amp only puts out 500 watts? I would rather have a 1,000-watt amp on a 500-watt subwoofer. Larry, I can see that going either way. The power handling on a speaker, and this is sometimes where people get into a little bit of a perplexed situation. Just because a speaker is rated at 1,000 watts doesn't mean it's not going to move or sound or play with 50 watts. It absolutely will. It'll play with 50 watts. It'll play with 100 watts. It'll play with 200 watts. If a subwoofer has a true 1,000-watt rating, typically what that rating comes from, usually, is that in a properly designed enclosure, it's going to take 1,000 watts to get that woofer to full excursion capability with a clean, unclipped signal. And that's really what it's about. Your bigger and heavier, high output, long throw subwoofers, for example, like the L7X that's sitting off to my left side here, has a much higher power rating. Will this speaker play with 50 watts? Yeah, it'll play. Is it going to play like it should? No, not at all. You should put a whole lot more power on an L7X to get what you want out of it. If you only have 50 watts and that's what you want to do, we should probably be looking over here at, say, like an L7T or a Comp RT or a Comp R or a Comp or something like that. So I can understand you're not wanting to put 500 watts on a 1,000-watt speaker. I get that. You can. As long as you don't clip the amplifier, and if the speaker's producing the amount of bass you like, you're good to go. The statement you make about I'd rather put a 1,000-watt amp on a 500-watt subwoofer, I'm in that camp as well. I believe there is no such thing as too much power. If you have more power than the speaker's capable of handling and you don't clip it, you're more than likely never going to hurt that speaker. You could, but your chances of hurting a speaker with clean, unclipped power are way less than a small amplifier that's overdriven into harsh clipping. So if that's the point you're trying to get across, I agree with you 100%, Larry. Thank you for the question. Anything else, JW? Looks like a good feed there. We are coming up real quick. What I want to do is it is now right a little after 8 o'clock. If you haven't forgot, if you're new to the show, you want to enter the contest tonight, be sure you hit before 8:30 Central Time, kicker.com/UM Weekly. That's the contest to enter for tonight's show. And without further ado, 8 o'clock time, I want to get the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. MB from MB Enclosures. He is waiting in the green room, and all we got to do is wait for JW to get him up here on the screen. JW, when you're ready, please bring him in.
The man, the myth, the legend. Stop it.
You are the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing tonight, MB?
I'm humbled. This is a dream come. This is a dream come true. This is figuratively Trevor Lawrence talking to Tom Brady. I mean, Kicker, the oldest cardio company in the world, the biggest cardio speaker manufacturer, make sure y'all have more cardio in the world. The Steve Irving, I hope when you started Kicker, I was born.
Same year.
The exact same year. When he had the idea, when he said his dad, he said, "Can we build it?" And he envisioned, and somebody told him, "Hey man, that thing kicks." And he said he's gonna make a cardio company and put speakers in trucks. And the whole vision, the concept is how big it has grown. For them to reach out to a guy in his garage, if this ain't American, if in the times we live in, if this ain't American, if this ain't patriotic, what is? What is? I mean, it's Kicker. My subscribers, man. You partner with Kicker 98. There's no partner. They ain't paying me. I'm not paying them. This is a giant to reach out to a peasant and say, "Hey, let me help you up just a little bit more." This is big because man, I can't say enough, man. Steve Irving, thank you.
Well, you're entirely welcome, MB. You know, how this all kind of got started, let me give a little bit of background here, is even though, me and the other guys every Tuesday night try to put together a show here for all you Kicker fans out there, I myself watch a lot of YouTube content on my own free time. And among those is you, MB. And I've been watching you for quite a while. Matter of fact, I've been watching you since you probably had less than about 4,000 subscribers. I've been tuned in and checking your content out for quite a long time. And the thing that's amazing to me about it is you are, and I use the words, you're an animal when it comes to designing enclosures, and you are. I mean, you tell it how it is. You don't cut corners. You don't tell people what they want to hear. You tell people what they need to hear, and you tell them what do they have to have, what size woofer do they need, how many, what kind of power, so that you can get the best performance out of the space that you're willing to give me. You're not the guy who's going to just make up and say, I mean, I'll tell you a short story, and this is funny, and I know you'll laugh about this. is, back in my day, I had more than I can count guys that come in with a standard cab S10 truck or a standard cab Ford Ranger, and they say, man, I want to put a set of 15s back there. I want to put a set of 15s.
And you look at them like, are you serious? Are you and they be dead serious.
I had one guy, and I'll share this because I think it's funny. I had one guy, and he said, no, you can fit 15s back there. There's room. And I said, listen, you've got enough height and enough width for the surface area of a 15, and I can probably make it cover the magnet, but you don't have enough air volume for a 15 to work right. No, it'll be good. I said, listen, let me get you into a pair of 10s. I can build a nice box back here for a pair of 10s, and it's going to sound way better than those 15s. And he insisted, and I said, okay. So we did. And of course, back then, just about everything was custom built, no matter what kind of box it was. So we built him a box. We loaded in a pair of 15-inch drivers. And lo and behold, when it was all said and done, it sounded absolutely horrible. And so he came to pick up the vehicle. He sat in and listened to it. And, of course, you can see the disappointment on his face. And he said, that doesn't sound good at all. I go, I told you it wouldn't. He said, well, what do I do? And I said, well, here, I'll tell you what. I said, I can't do anything about the box. The box is yours. I can't eat it. I'm not taking it back. It's an enclosure that you're paying for. I said, what I'll do is if you'll allow me to take this out and I'll give you a credit for the 15-inch woofers, I said, then let me build you a box for 2 10s. You're going to pay for another box, and then I will sell you 2 10-inch woofers. And I guarantee you it's going to sound better in here. I guarantee it. And he let me. And when he came back, it sounded rich. It sounded full. It had great output. It hit hard. And he's just like, I just don't understand. He said, I had plenty of room. And I'm like, but what you don't understand is I told you didn't, and you're looking at the wrong thing. It's how much air volume did you have so that woofer can breathe and do its job. And so looking back at my retail days as an installer and the things that I went through, and then I come across someone like you that I watch, and I'm like, this guy's on it. He knows exactly what's going on, and he's not going to cut any corners or go down the road of BS just to tell someone what they want to hear. He's going to tell them what they need to hear. And that's why I started watching you at 4,000 subscribers. And when we did a show, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, whenever it was, with Aaron and the guys from Tech Support, our Tech Force, we were talking about something, and you were the closest thing I could think of as far as an analogy to talk about what Aaron was talking about. And that's why I brought you out. I promise everyone, he didn't pay for a commercial.
But you gave me one. Boy, did you give me one. But I was, the people that, man, did you pay me? No, man, they not paying me. I ain't pay. I woke up that morning and they said, man, congratulations. My phone was just bubbles galore. Congratulations. I said, this is way more than people need in the box. And congratulations, man. Kicker, shout out, man. That's great for you. I said, Kicker. Whoa, I got about the bed. I'm looking. They said, yeah, kept mentioning you. I said, what? Send me the link. And when he sent it to me, and I said, what time? 7:44. I'll never forget, 7:44, 7:40, yeah, 7:44 or 7:43. And I heard you say, yeah, this guy, and that's why I put on my intro. I said, I looked at my wife, and she said, oh my God. I said, Jesus. I got on my knees and prayed. I was like, I didn't eat breakfast that morning. I was making, you believe they said, all the people that build boxes, Bobby Gately, Steve Meade, 210 Designs, people that I follow, EXO. He said my name, and here we are. And I'm still humble. I'm still in shock. I mean, how big y'all are? I mean, you see how the market and the trend, way things are going in the world today, especially in cardio, buy a subwoofer, buy an alternator, and what even started my love and fascination with I've always been a Kicker fan since I was graduating high school in 1991. I've always been a Kicker fan. Life happens, you get married, children, things happen. And I started building enclosures just for peace in my man cave. I got pretty good at it on Facebook. And at the time I was promoting I was loving another company's 8 a lot. And I probably helped move a lot of their 8s. And one day a customer from mine, he said, hey man, I worked the truck. Messed the 8s up, whatever. I want to run some kickers. Young guy. The guy is 20. He's in Washington. Name's Kendall. Okay, he's in Washington. And he said, I want to run some kicker 8s. I said, what you want to run? He said, the Q class. Can I run? 4 of them? I said, I don't think you can run 4 of them on that truck. Let's try 2. Okay. So then I said, I never built for that square sub.
Right.
And I've heard people say on social media, hey man, base is Bass is bass way. It's a square sub. They don't know what they're doing. The bass is circular, and I said, man, throw around. You know, like I think you said it one time, man. Throw a brick in a lake, a square brick in a lake, and you tell me what the ripples look like. Bass is bass. So when he said that, and I said, man, the kicker subs don't play low. I said, man, a subwoofer is gonna follow the instructions of the amplifier. It's gonna play whatever it can. It's gonna follow the instructions. If the enclosure it has enabled it to do so, and it's tuned for the music, the genre of music that you listen to. You say it all the time, kid, but that's true. So I said, let me buy myself so I make sure I get the cutout right. And when I opened it up and looked at the build quality, read the technology features, first thing came to my mind was, this ain't a carbon copy. This is not a, you hit the lottery, go to China, go to Ginseng, Ding Tang Electronics, and put your name on the dust cap. This is not, what do you call it? Manu packaging. This is
manu packaging.
Manu packaging. Just, they put it in this package, put his name on it. This is true technology. And then when I heard it, when I played with the program, you know, y'all put it at one cube. Bass Block Pro 6 told me you can put this 1.75. Speaker box say you put it 1.65, and I know Cone Edge King, whoever moves with, and when I did it, and y'all saw the video, I said, this is. I called that company and I told them, I said, hey man, you heard, you know about KICKER and this, and I've said it on my channel. I'm not gonna do nothing here, but I was told, yeah, it's a good 8. Yeah, I know it's a good 8. It's a monster. That Q class is nothing to be played with. So it's efficient. It's no matter what you see me play on my channel, I build for everybody. I tell everybody, I always go back. At the end of the day, after I review, sub, unbox, whatever, the Q class go back in. That's my daily, and it's nice.
So
nice.
obviously, you said you were born the year that Steve Irby started the company, 1973.
1973.
So when did you get into car audio? What year? How old were you? Was it what? Just give me an idea of what got you into car audio.
1991. 1993. 1991, I graduated high school. 1993, I started working with this company called Hi-Fi Buys. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. And to install their products, they would send you to seminars. They sent me to another manufacturer, one of your competitors, for one of their seminars to learn how to read the TS parameters, do fiberglass work, and install their products, work with 12 volts. I also went down to, they wasn't in Miramar, Ford. They was somewhere else. Another competitor of yours sent me to my company, Hi-Fi Buys, sent us there to get the installers trained, become MECP certified, and this is back in the 90s. And I had a love, I really did have a love of just building boxes. And install, putting the radio in, and people ask me today, I mean, if I bring the car down there and you install it, I said, man, let me tell you what I do. I do one thing, I do it well. I try to learn every day, and there's still more to learn. I just build boxes. And I became synonymous here in Atlanta. And little small circles in Atlanta say, yeah, you get one of them boxes from him, man. It's crazy. You're going to get some serious output. Serious output.
It's very serious output. So you got into car audio. You worked for a high, and I actually know that store chain you're talking about, Hi-Fi Buys. I'm familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you were doing that. What made you get into designing the? I mean, first off, is that what you do on a daily basis? Is just build boxes?
That's all I do, build boxes. I was working for the company. I was working for a company with my CDL license, doing over the road. I mean, in a local moving heavy equipment, bulldozers, excavators, real big stuff, wide load stuff. And this building boxes is a hobby because I was on Facebook doing this, and then I started hot shot with my dually, and when I got off the road, my youngest boy got older, and I didn't want to be that far away from him at home, particularly what we got going on in the African American community. I said, "Now I'm gonna be in the house with my son, raise him correctly." I was building boxes just on the side as a hobby, just put a little money in my pocket. I just give it to my wife, and my friend and my wife told me first years ago, "Why don't you take that to YouTube?" I said, "Baby, you can't take care of yourself building no boxes, man. Ain't that many people gonna want no boxes. I mean, not everybody love it as much as I love it. Some people grow out of it or whatever." And then my friend said the same thing. A guy named Antoine Mumford. in Washington, D.C. He said, man, guys out here, they're not building. You know, when you want a custom box, you want something that's going to be for your genre of music that you listen to in your vehicle. Whereas a prefab box, I get people asking my time, man. And I have said to them, hey, don't get a box for me because you'll come out better buying this box from Kicker for the E-subs or buying this prefab because the music you listen to, you don't need a custom box. You really only want a custom box if you competing for SPL or you really listen to the modern day hip hop, which plays, but even some pop plays below 38 hertz. When you want something playing below 38 hertz, but well, you know, not even Kicker do it now with our quad box. I got that tuned to 31 hertz. But for the most part, if you want something tuned below 38 hertz, you're not going to find a prefab going to do that other than Kicker's quad box. So you might, that's when you want to go to a custom box builder. The rest of you, if you're not trying to get tuned that low, you can get you a Kicker box or whatever prefab box, whatever manufacturers you want. And most of the times you'll be happy if it can fit in the space you can allocate it for it. But, you know, but my son, my friend said, man, go to YouTube with it. And I did, and just keep reviewing the subwoofers, and it just took off to the point where I couldn't serve two masters. I had to let one go. Still friends with my boss that I let go. My boss, I know he's watching Chris Ralston. He said, man, I wish you the best, man. Hey up under your wings, man. You love that. You good at it.
So as you've gone down the path of designing boxes, obviously you're learning a lot of things about what to do right, what not to do, how to avoid this. Your goal has always been to probably get better performance or more performance than where you were. What was the first, and it doesn't matter if it's Kicker or not, understand that even though this is Kicker Unmasked Live, we can talk about anything on this show. So what was the first enclosure that you built, whatever it was, where you impressed yourself and you were like, wow?
Okay. And I don't want you to, hey, you know, this is unscripted, y'all. Everybody's here from NBE. This is unscripted, okay? It's funny you asked that. There's a lot of boxes I built that don't work. Now, let's go back to 1994, 95. What year did they release the Kicker Gray Cone Solar Barracks?
Oh, that would have been 90.
The first year.
I don't want to lie to you, but I think it was 92.
92? The Gray Cone.
I think was 92.
The great,
between 92 and 94.
Yes, that's why I know somewhere in there.
The Gray Cone would have been the D series, right, Tim?
The Gray Cone is the first series.
I think it was 92. Very first.
92, the Gray Cone. That came out. I had a 1992 size, 1993 Ford Escort Gt. At the time I was into seal sound. I wasn't into ported sound. So It came out and it was one cube. I know it was one cube per 12. And I had 4 1 cube solar barracks in my 1993 Ford Escort GT. I can't remember what amp I had on it, but I remember at the time I was doing 145. Can you hear me? Oh,
Larry Keller chimed in, said he had the originals in 92, so I think that's the year.
92. I remember my vehicle was a 1993 Ford Escort, and I had 4 of them in the sealed enclosure. I had in the sealed enclosure, two facing the front and 2 facing the back, and I had 2,000 watts on 500 watts each. And at the time when they came out, to have a 500 watt rating on a subwoofer was impressive. And I had some sound screen. I had 4 sound screen Rubicon 500.1s on each one. I was high, I bumped up my alternator. I was doing the runs of power. I did 146 dB on music. This back in 1993 in the Nopi. And what made me know I was real loud, I was taking this girl out. I never forget her name, Maris Polis. And her friend was sitting in the back seat with my cousin and Tony Austin. And she kept saying, turn the music up. And I was like, 140 dB is the sound of a jet engine. It's like sitting in your chair in front of a jet engine. I was at 146, only on 2,000 watts of Rubicon on each 500.1. They did more than that, but for sure after the previous rise, I was getting very close to 500 watts. And I kept turning up. And when we parked the car and got out to go in the movies, and I let my seat back, because the Ford Escort was 2-door, and I let her out, she stumbled. and she stumbled again. And then my best friend called. He said, "What's going on?" And I looked in her ear, and her ear, and that's why I'm always gonna respect. She had busted her eardrum. We had to go to the Cab Medical Center because I had ruptured her eardrum just from the base in a seal box, and I was at that point. It was like almost like okay, there's so many illustrations I give. I was hooked. I was done. When I seen that, I'm being kicker for life. I would never let. And then when the guy said kickers don't play low, I said, let me show y'all something about kicker. Kicker ain't never lost a step. And when that Solo S come out, I told Bill this. When that Solo S come out, kicker's gonna claim the throne they never vacated. Well, we never vacated. We just seen it was not cost efficient, so we stopped. But since y'all think we can't get loud, we gonna show you what loud is.
You know, there's a comment. I just saw it scroll by in the comment feature going there. I had to bring it up because I've seen some of the joking you do back and forth with your wife. And he says, Vanna Black about to throw something at you since you're talking about another girl.
Hey, it's funny. It's funny. She's watching somewhere in this thing. We're showing up. My wife does not like me talking about no female. You got that right. You got that right.
That, you know, that's an awesome story. And you know, I have those as well from my own personal experience. The original Solar Brake, man, I love that subwoofer. I had 212s in a Plymouth Laser hatchback running about 800 watts on those, and they were absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I understand the love of the original Solar Brake. I'm there with you. And real quick, I'm watching the comment feed, guys. I got questions for MB. I hope you guys got questions for MB. Throw them in there. But real quick, it is 8:22. If you're new to the show and you don't know how this works, or if you're an old timer and you just forgot, you have about 8 minutes to enter tonight's contest. That's kicker.com/UM Weekly. I see Bill's got it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Go hit that. Be sure you enter before 8:30 Central Time. We draw the winners and announce before 9 o'clock on tonight's show. So keep that in mind, the contest. So let's fast forward a little bit. Obviously, I've watched a lot of your content, and I know we're here on Kicker Unmasked Live, and I know you've got a love. You've had good experience with certain kicker products over the years, but like you've said, you'll make a woofer. You'll take it. You love all subwoofers. You just are about getting the best performance out of a box that you can, and I don't want to lose sight of that for you. But you know, when I'm watching your content, because I'm an enthusiast, I am an audio enthusiast, I'm a video enthusiast, and not just for car. I'm the same thing for home. So I'm cursed on every front. I'm just broke all the time. I can't afford to buy what I want in either environment. But I love great audio and I love great video. But watching the stuff that you do and everything that you've put together, we did a shout out to you on that show because I really feel like you're one of the, for lack of a better term, you're an original at heart guy who wants to give everyone the best they can. So you said you got all those phone calls the next morning. What's happened to you since we mentioned you on Unmasked Live?
10,000, might be at 10.6. YouTube tell me one of the fastest growing channels, organic channels they have, and it's been hectic. Okay, when I say it's been hectic, let me show you something. Let me show you something. That's 2 days. I have to turn out. I used to do 2 a day, like 2 bills, to at least 2 bills a day out. Now I'm having to, and then it's the sun going down early. I gotta do 3 to 4 boxes a day to keep up.
So you're busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, I'm just, and then my number one boxes, these truck boxes. I'm hoping that maybe me and your designers can reach out and try to, because these truck boxes coming out today, they're not people not happy with them. So I'm built a lot of truck boxes, and because of that, what you mentioned, particularly with, let me go get my baby. Hold on a second. Let me get my baby. Let me go get one of my babies, man, because I got 4 of them. I keep them on deck.
Folks, just remember, this show is live and is completely unscripted, so you never know when someone's going to walk off screen.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I wasn't thinking about that.
No, you're good.
But, this boy here, like this boy that took me a lot of places. I built so many under-seating boxes for this sub because of the mountain depth, because of this angle. We all know the technology that's into it. cone area is king. Whoever moves the most air is going to be the loudest. This is honestly, there's no perfect subwoofer, but when it comes to fitting up on the truck seat, and somebody said if they don't want to run a different brand, they say what to run. I hear you scream. I believe in it. So I do a lot of under seat truck enclosures with Kicker L7 Q class, a lot of them. And if I can take this shameless plug out here, didn't you say we're gonna do a giveaway?
We are, but we're gonna get to that in just a little bit.
Okay, let me be quiet.
I've been watching the comment feed, so for those of you that asked, the cat's out of the bag. We're going to do some kind of a crazy giveaway with MB here before the show's over. So I'd stay tuned if I were you, because it's going to be something fantastic that we're going to do with MB. And I can tell you, this is not going to be the last time we'll have MB on this show. MB, you are truly... You're an artist. What you do, you have a passion for what you do. You want to make great sounding boxes. I want to take a question from the feed here real quick. One of the things you mentioned is about performance, and sometimes a prefab box is the way to go. Maybe if that's what you want, that is the way what you want to go. But Larry H here is asking. He says, when looking at the specs on the L7s in a sealed box, how much extension and output do you lose building an enclosure for the minimum spec versus the maximum? And Larry, the best thing I can tell you as an answer to that is we basically work on a bell curve. When we give you a minimum box and a maximum box recommendation, that is on both sides of the bell curve. If you look at, here's maximum performance that we think we're going to get out of that driver, and through testing and modeling and building boxes, as you make the box smaller, you're going to start losing low bass extension. It's going to take more power to drive that speaker, and it's going to be a little punchier and tighter because you're losing some of that low bass extension. So a minimum box isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're listening to a lot of older rock, if you're listening to metal, if you're looking to things that don't play down that deep. A smaller than optimum box may not be a bad thing for you at all. Now, if you build a smaller than optimum box and turn around and start playing some modern day hip hop or rap or top 40 that's got a lot of that 32 to 38 hertz material in it, you may not be happy with that minimum size box because it's not going to reproduce it with the authority that you're going to like. Now, the same thing, the exact opposite is true if you start going on the larger side of optimum. As you get bigger, the box is going to start extenuating and playing the deeper bass more. It's going to take less power to get that speaker to full extension. And like he just said, it can start sounding muddy. So when we do the min and the max, that is kind of our way of saying, don't build it any smaller than this, and don't build it any bigger than this. And if you want to know what we think optimum is always right in the middle. Especially on any of the sealed boxes when you're talking about kicker speakers. So that's what I would tell you to look at right there. Are you going to lose minimum versus maximum on the box size? Yes, you're going to lose. If you go from the maximum box to the minimum box, you're going to lose some low end extension. It's going to take more power to move that cone, and it's not going to resonate at as low a frequency. It's going to resonate a little bit higher. That's just the facts. So hopefully that helps you. You got anything to add to that, MB?
No, but he also got to. Well, what I do also factor in your resonance speaker with your vehicle. So sometimes when y'all tell me to tune a box to 33 hertz, and you get the box, you think, well, I did the calculations, maybe on the phone calculations. This box is not really tuned there. Actually, I'm tuning high, maybe slightly high, because when I put it inside your vehicle, and that's also what a custom box is. In your vehicle, you're going to get this tuning. You take that same box, put it in another vehicle, it might go higher or lower. And that's what I'm saying when you get a custom box builder, it depends on what you're looking for. Most custom boxes, two things you're looking for: SPL so you can meter, or playing extremely low. Because even a prefab tune to 40 hertz, it's still gonna get some 30s. But it's like Kim just said, it's not gonna give you the emphasis at 30 for the genre of music that you listen to. So you need to bring the tuning up a little bit down. And like he said, the minimum max. You handle more power when you put it in a smaller box, but it is not enough air in the box for you to get them resounding lows. And here we diverge a little bit, because, well, guys ask me, they say, well, why Kicker say put it in one cube? Well, let's look at it. Let's really look at it. Let's unbox that for a minute. Most of you do not know how port area, cone area, and box volume relate. Most of you use 12 to 16 squares as a port area. And that's when you just started. That's a safety zone, so your product will last longer, because some of you get great subs and put them on audio pipe amps. I'm just building power acoustics amps and think, well, why I'm not getting great sound? Well, you got a Mercedes driving on their 7 octane. That's one thing. So when they give you their minimum and max recommendations, it's for you who are do-it-yourselfers, like I was, like Kit was. This is a general guideline for you to go by. You need to put it in one key. Why? Because you really don't know what you're doing. But you can put them in slightly larger than expected if, number one, you know what you're giving up and what you're trying to gain when you go past what's recommended. They're giving the guideline for warranty purposes because, number one, they are a company. Any manufacturer. I don't need you to be, every time I'm getting warranty claims because you using the sub incorrectly. They give you a starting point. If you want to go any further than that, that's when you get your custom box builder.
You know, and to tie into that, and I know your focus in a lot of what you do, MB, is because you're doing ported enclosures, you're tuning enclosures, especially when you start talking about the Holy Trinity, which for you is box volume, port volume, and speaker area.
Speaker size. Cone area. Yes, sir.
And on a ported box, this is what I will say. If you're new at building enclosures and this is your first time out of the gate and you're trying to build an enclosure to get decent to good performance out of your subwoofer, you can be off by 15 to 20% on a sealed box and still get good performance out of a woofer in a sealed box if it's designed to work in a small sealed enclosure. So you can be off some and it's still going to sound good. Now, when it comes to not in the ported enclosure, man, you got to be on that because you are literally building a resonance tuned chamber. You're building a column of air that's going to work with the back pressure of that speaker, and it's going to vibrate that column of air to act like additional output, to act like an additional subwoofer to give you output. It's going to lower your frequency range you're going to get, and it's going to resonate and give you more output in that band of frequencies. As crazy as this sounds, you can tune a box too low.
Exactly. I've had people ask, "Hey man, I like the deep lows. Can you give me a 30 hertz tune? Do you listen to a lot of decaf music, D-bass music? Well, what's decaf? You don't need to go that low, bro. Well, I see you like 33, but I really like them lows. And at that point, that's when I found out you never really heard low. Because if you don't think 33 is low, then you really haven't heard any lows. And I do not like to really tune boxes. And let's ask the customer this question. Do you listen to a lot of rebased decaf music? What's that? I forgot when they throw themselves around. Music that really, they start at 35. If you do not listen to a lot of rebased decaf music, and once you ask them that, if they don't even know what you're talking about, they say, hey, bro, you don't need to box tune that low. 33 is really the lowest I like to go. Be honest, I've tuned 30. You really can't tell the difference between 32 and 33 supposedly, but I can hear the difference in 2 hertz. So I've tuned boxes just trying to myself over the years, 30 hertz, 31 hertz. It's not musical. It is true. It's not musical. You lose your high because you're too low. 33 is skating. Some people say some builders say I don't like to go below 35. Can't knock that. Every builder is different. But yes, you can tune the box too low and lose all your musicality.
There's a question in the feed for you that I want to bring up. Before I get to that one, though, I want to ask you a question. When you started doing your box designs, were you doing it by hand and math and teal small? Were you using any kind of a box calculation program? When you started doing it, what were you doing it with?
It's by hand. Back in the 90s, it was by hand. 1728. Okay. You know what 1728 is.
Yeah, 12.
By hand. It's much easier with these calculators, though.
I love calculators. Calculators are my friend. The reason I asked that question is because, most people, and I did back in the day, it was all doing it by hand. It was calculating things by hand. And, of course, computers came along and programs that help you. But I want to share a little story with you because this I find a little, even for me, I find a little mind-blowing. One of our guys that works on R&D recently was working on some box designs for some kicker drivers. And he called a couple of us to his desk, and we're looking at the box modeling software, and we're looking at what these 2 different boxes are doing for this driver. Same speaker, 2 different boxes. And looking at the response curves, if I was going to choose one over the other, I don't know that I could even said it mattered. Looking at those two designs, as far as what it showed on the computer screen, I say build one, build the other. They're going to sound the same. There's no way that these aren't just going to be so close it doesn't matter. He actually built both boxes, and we took them into the back. We've got several test vehicles here that we use for testing, and he put these boxes in a vehicle for us to listen to. And I can tell you, the one box hit, hammered, sounded good, was awesome. The other box sounded like it didn't even have a subwoofer in it playing.
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to discourage anyone from using a computer program for modeling, because that's going to help get you into ballparks and figure things and calculate tunings. But I will tell you this, if you're looking at two graphs side by side and there's not much difference between them, don't think that there couldn't be an audible difference between them, because I heard it myself and it blew my mind.
Experience. That's what you get with box builders. I mean, the experience, knowing that, okay, I know the program saying this, but it's something that they can't quantify, that I know from experience, why I say, nah, that's not going to work. Well, it's not going to work. And that's because the program has to find a way to quantify what we know is going to affect that driver. And that just comes, sometimes I don't have to, like right now, there's really, with some, with Scar, Sundown, so you see, like I said, most of these boutique subwoofers coming out, I pretty much know, man, ain't too much difference between one and the next. I don't have the program to say what to do and what it need. But when you get like your boy J Audio, Kicker, when you get to the Q class, Ford Escort T1, T3, it's a little difference there, because for one, the TS parameters be on point, and it's just different things you do. It's different quality, man. That's why I'm all to be here, man. I mean, this is really a different subwoofer. I mean, when you look at it, find a sub that look like the L17, the Solar Bear, the Q. I mean, it's just the technology is there. It's a big trend out today, and I got to tell people, run what you want to run, but I'm just here to present you the facts. If you buy certain things, you need to know you're going to have to buy an alternator to run it. Magnet size has nothing to do with the strength of the subwoofer. It is used, the magnetic field is used, but if you use a certain grade of magnet and you're able to focus with the top plate and the bottom plate, the energy where it needs to be, is what's going on in the gap that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. What's going on in the gap, not the size of the motor and these. And that's the thing now, you put these real big surrounds on subs and wondering why, they're musical and they play low, they like home theater subs. But when you put them same subwoofers inside the listening environment of a car, which has the road noise to combat and all that, you need cone. You need air to be moved in resonation so you can hear it, instead of air being moved up on the car and all that noise coming up through the seat. I mean, that's why cone is king inside car audio. I mean, it's stuff like that I just know. I'm telling you, this is what you're going to have to combat the road noise, or you're going to buy that subwoofer and have to do a whole lot more. And if you willing to do that, good. You got the money for it, cool. You want to hear it? Hell, I run all of them too. I like that. I listen to all of them. But just know what you get and know what you're about to do.
Exactly, man. You touched on so many bits of wisdom there. I'm not even going to pick on one. They're all correct. Real quick here, Paul Poston, he said, question for MB. Have you ever built a behind-the-seat enclosure for a new style Ford Ranger quad cab? I'm wanting to put an L7T there. Any advice there?
I have to look at it to see a new series Ford Ranger L7. I have to look at it. I got my number on the YouTube page. Maybe just message me and we'll talk about it. But I know I haven't built one for a Ranger new model. I know that. So we have to look at it, get the dimensions.
And go ahead, and I don't know if Bill, I know you can hear me, Bill. If you've got MB's number and you want to put it into a scrolling thing at the bottom and bring it up, that'd be great if you want to do that. But otherwise, I'm just, until you can, or if you want to, MB, if someone wants to reach out to you either on a text or a phone call, how do they get a hold of you?
It's right there on my YouTube. You go to my YouTube page, my number's on every video.
Okay.
On every video. Go in the description. It'll drop down on most of them anyway. Especially the new ones I've been doing lately. You'll see my number. Call or text. And when you text, I really need to know the make and model of your vehicle and your sub. At that point, I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to look it up. The make and model of the year of your vehicle, I'm going to look it up. If you say Like I made a video about you. I'm gonna put 2 L715 in my new Charger. I'm gonna text you back instantly. I'm not gonna do it. Well, I've seen such and such. Well, you need to get him to do it. I ain't gonna do it. So you need to make them all your vehicle and your sub, and then I'm gonna go there if you got enough airspace. Sometimes I might need to say what you trim you got and say what's your dimensions, what's your available dimensions. Then you text that to me. I'm like quickly on my top of my head or using the mobile apps. I can tell how much volume you got gross, and then decide if I can put a port and sub in that space.
Right. So real quick, I'm just regular guy audio. He's a regular guy that attends our channel, RGA. I have a question for MB. I'm going to ask on his channel. He's subscribed. So yeah,
Okay.
anyone here, if you want to talk to MB about box design, enclosures, things like that you want him to do for you or have something built, go check him out on his YouTube channel. It's MB Enclosure. Go ahead and get subscribed, and then, of course, hit him up with any questions or stuff. He does post his phone number right there in his feed, so you can get a hold of him right from there. So, RGA, hopefully that helps. He said he's going to ask you a question through your channel, so I guess that's good. You may get more questions out of this than you want.
Oh, man. Y'all got me swamped. I'm serious. You got me swamped over here, man. It's amazing.
I'm just looking through the I'm looking to see if there's any other questions on here. So I've seen you do have fun. Your wife pokes at you a little bit, and you poke at your wife. What does she think about you building all these enclosures? She's not the one who got the bloody ear, is it?
No, she ain't the one that got the bloody ear. Now that I brought it up. No, that's like I get off that subject because I'm hoping she forget it. hey, Tracy, I'm hoping she forget it, man. Cause I don't know if she gonna. Tracy, I know you watching the video, girl. So I come down here. You watching the video. She feels, man. When I was living closer to the city of Atlanta, a city called Powder Springs. And I was just downstairs in my basement building boxes. Oh, that's my garage. I hope that's not too loud. My oldest boy coming home. Okay. And she told me one day. She said, baby, come here, baby. He talking about you. Yeah, he talking about you. They want to see you on the channel. Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, come on. Yeah, but you can't come on bra and panties. It's a family show. It's children out there. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Man, come on. Please come here, baby. You see what's going on, man. This is the CFO. This is the Chief Finance Officer.
No,
there we go.
CEO.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, yeah. CEO. You know what that, because you see this ring, right? You got one too, Kip. Yeah, CEO. I am the last slave in America, and this is the okay. Hey, so she told me back at 4505 to downstairs. She said, "Man, why don't you take that on YouTube?" And that's what I said. You can't make no money, man. She said, "Baby, you're good at it. You love to do it, and it is therapeutic for me. I actually look forward to going outside, cranking my saw up. I like to look at bare wood." And in my mind, if people ask me to sell designs and I don't, once I get the leads or the cubic feet I need, I actually build it out my mind. Once I know the port area and the length, I just go in front of the saw, my tools, out there in my shed, and it just comes alive. That's why I call them my sons. I don't know. It's therapeutic for me. It's what I do. Some people like I watch football. I love the Falcons. Some people like to fish. Some people like to hunt. Some people like to shoot guns. What do you really like to do? I like to get dusty and build boxes.
Okay, so I'm going to say all the above are good in my book, and especially based on a show a few weeks ago, who doesn't like making man glitter? That's sawdust, by the way. Man glitter, sawdust. Yeah, I just like doing it. And so she told me to do it. And be honest with you, that's a crazy saying. People say, "Be honest with you," because it make you want to say. So everything else you said before that, you was lying? Why you said be honest now? So you was lying before it. Okay, look. I lost my train of thought when I'm building boxes. That's what I just love. I just love. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, I just forgot. I love building boxes. It's therapeutic for me. I relax. I don't want to go in a ramble about it, but I get closer to my creator, Jesus. He talks to me. I listen to. You want to hear something really funny? I listen to Joel Osteen. I listen to Joel Osteen and TD Jakes when I'm building subwoofer boxes. I got the YouTube channel. I'm sitting there watching. I'm listening to
what they're saying about life and this, especially in these times that we live in. And that's another reason why I'll tell you this. I said on my channel, hey, I know from I read this book called 6 Degrees Sex Separation, I got so many subscribers. So between me and 6 people is Lil Baby. So I reached out and said it on my channel, and I actually built a box for somebody who's some way connected to Lil Baby, and possibly I might go even further. But then shortly after that, that's when I woke up. I can't remember. I woke up that morning. The baby thing happened first, and I built his box for his friend. And then shortly after, that's when I woke up and heard about the Kicker connection. And when I went back out to build that next morning, it's like God told me right then, it's good you doing the gift, the talent I gave you, you using it, but you thinking small. See, you thinking this guy who made music is going to help you, want people to put music in their boxes and their cars because it isn't the baby. And Jesus told me, now I'm thinking bigger than that. I'm going to get you the biggest the biggest car audio company in the world is going to put your name and theirs in the same line. They're going to contact. So I was like, it was like, you thinking here, but I told you have faith the size of the mustard seed, you could tell a mountain to move. So I'm going to make a mountain move for you. And that's how I look at Kicker. Kicker's a mountain. If I don't be about to nobody else, I could be out with Kicker for the rest of my life.
Hey, I don't know if you're coming this direction or I'm coming your direction, but at some point we're definitely going to get together and break bread and have a meal together and enjoy a cold beverage. There is no doubt about that at all. Now, I know you like building boxes, but let me ask you a question. It's good you enjoy building the box, but is the joy and the pleasure and the excitement on a person's face when they get to hear it equally as good to you or more?
And he said, whoever is greatest among you will serve the others. That was what my master say. So it's therapeutic for me to build the boxes. But when someone messages me back, like I people say, man, I built a box for a shop here in Atlanta, in Marietta. The guy, he said, man, I see you ain't messaged me. Why you ain't but I just want to tell you, man, this is phenomenal. I never had. I said, welcome to the NBA experience. And he asked me, he said, why you don't like to ask them how they doing the boxes? Because I love each and every last one of them. I said, if you call me back, that means something wrong. If I done built that box correctly, that means something right. It's just like if I sell you a car and we happy, when you sold your car, you happy. If you drive back on the lot, I know something wrong. You don't come back to the dealership unless something wrong with the car. So when I send you the box, if you don't say nothing, I know my boy doing what he's supposed to do. He's performing. But I get it all the time. Hey, man, I never heard nothing like this. This is incredible. One guy.
Oh, we lost him. MB, come on back. Apparently we lost the feed with MB, but we're still here. I know he'll get back into the studio. MB, if your wife's watching the feed, or hopefully you know what's going on, we lost your feed. I don't know if you dropped internet or what happened on that, but man, MB, get back in the feed. We'll get you on here. Question that came from the studio. Hopefully MB will be back here. MB, would you think a single 15 Kicker Comp Q would sound good in a custom enclosure with airports and a full-size sedan? Alex, I wanted to get to that question as soon as I got an opening with MB, and I'm going to keep your question up here in my area to bring up. As soon as MB gets back, we'll get you. Hey, there he is. I see him coming. Hold on just a second there, Alex. We got him coming right back in. JW, you got him?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I think my battery died on the phone. Yeah, my battery died on the phone. I think it did.
No worries.
So this guy Bill, go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying. Go ahead.
Okay. This guy Bill, Vaughn Patterson. I built him a box full of 2 scars. And he said 2 scar VXF 12s. He said, man, and I told him how to set his amp. He said, oh man, on volume 15. And he sent me the videos and everything. His valves are falling down. And he was just amazed. He said, I've never heard something here so low and so deep. And yeah, that does feel good. That does feel good. If you call me, that means something wrong. If you don't call me, my boy performing. And it's funny. I told people, you know, in this business here, you sell somebody a box. You actually think you're not gonna see them for a while. They get a box. Being next, I'm getting a box for every car in their house. I'm like, some people got 4 or 5 boxes. I know a guy got 5 of my boxes. Only got 2 cars. I don't get it.
Are they different? Are they boxes with different subs in them? I assume maybe
Yeah,
swapping them out.
Yeah. And he wanted to, at this time. No, the 3 of them port. No, 1 fourth order because he was local. Then he moved. That's my boy Antoine Muffet I'm talking about. And he moved and he got 4 of the boxes. He got 5 of my boxes. And yeah, they different subs. I mean, yeah, I'm back. I'm back up, baby.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm talking to him. Yeah.
Hey, the CEO is making sure you're on the job.
The CEO, CFO, slave master, whatever you want to call it. I love her to death, though. That's my girl, man. Because she supports me. And
You're not back on.
yeah, I am back on. I'm talking to him, baby. I'm talking back to her. She supports me. And because of, I'm a team because of her. I mean, she does all the behind the scene work except for, man, y'all done made me so busy. I gotta hire somebody to do the boxing part to help wrap these boxes. I mean, that is a serious boost that I did to my channel. This is not going to help either.
Well, in all seriousness, Steve Irby started his business in 1973 in a 300 square foot garage. Just saying.
I know. And that's why God make things happen, and he do it in such a way, because you're not supposed, that's the only way you can be cursed, if you blaspheme the Holy Spirit. So when he do things, he give you just enough for you to know he did it, and also enough for you to doubt it. Because all the measure of your faith. So it's just so many coincidences to let me know he moved the mountain for me. So it's a feet still ain't touched the ground. I'm a trip that I'm having this conversation. This is gonna be my favorite video on YouTube right here. Look at me talking to Kip. I'm talking to Kicker, man. My friend who runs he heard the 4 kickers. He said, yeah, I gotta give me a pair just because I can't believe that it sounds that good and low. But he runs Crossfire. I think now he's on a Sedan audio. No, a Dare audio. He runs a lot of boutique high-end stuff, different kind of subs. Sure. And he's like, man, he's amazed. He's amazed by how they. I think y'all didn't market the Q class the way y'all supposed to in 2015. Because this is a badass sub. Excuse me, I'm family. This sub is SQL, which means SPL and SQ. This is a bad sub. Sonically accurate. Impact. You see the videos. Everybody come here. But some guys actually come pick up their boxes from Texas, Arkansas, Florida, Tennessee, just so they can, and they're not getting kicker subs now. I'm building for 15 boxes for these big bills. These guys can pick these boxes. And when they hear these little small subs, they say, man, it don't sound like no ace. And I've had several of them say, yeah, I'm gonna get me some 15. I'm gonna get some Q class 15 just off the strength of what they're hearing from these boys. I'm gonna give you some Q class 15. Yeah, because they say it's incredible. It do not sound like 8s.
Well, speaking of that, and this is a good question because I actually have a question I want to take out of this and ask you separately. But Alex, and I apologize if I mess up your last name, Olgwin maybe, or Olgwin, he says, MB, would you think a single 15-inch kicker comp Q would sound good in a custom enclosure with aero ports and a full-size sedan?
You said 15?
115 kicker comp Q.
Yeah, depends on the sedan. And at that point, that's where I was. Depends on the sedan to see how much room we got in there. But we definitely gonna go in the mid range because I don't think you could put the Q. Depending on what sedan it is, I think the SQ recommendation from Kicker is 4.5 or maybe 5. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get that in there because remember when they give you the volume is not sub and port. That is excluding sub and port. So when you look at that volume, oh man, I get this. The trunk thing says I got 12 cubic feet in there. Yeah, but that's cutting all the nooks and crannies and stuff where you can't put a square box. And
right.
And having a 5 cube box with the correct amount of port area for that sub, and to make sure that your port area has enough room to breathe. So it's possible. It depends on what sedan you're talking about. Because I won't build a box that's number one is going to chuck the subwoofer in any kind of way. Number two, you cannot block off my port. That's the only way you're gonna get the NBA experience. The port has to breathe. And I'm glad you said that earlier in what you said. A lot of, and there's nothing wrong with a curve. You can curve two sides. That's cool. But I want y'all to understand something, and I think Kip, you're gonna say this. Air is not. It looks like air is moving in and out of the port, but it's actually not. When you turn the subwoofer on, there's a column of air inside that port that is denser than the air in the outside environment, and it is a cone. It's technically a cone in that because it's denser, and I'm talking about even when you have the volume up high, as soon as you turn it on, there's a column of air inside that port resonating. It's denser than the outside environment, and that column of air is moving and hitting the molecules on the outside, and that's what you perceive as bass. Yes, if you put something there, it'll suck it in because the column of air is pulling it back, but the column of air, it never exits it. It never exits the port. It stays in there. So as long as you do the edges rounded over, you're fine. If you want to do a curve, make sure you calculate that where the curve starts, the port ended. Whatever the port, where the curve starts, the port ended. So you have to, like the KICKER Q card, the card box. The designers, they know that, hey man, this helps a little bit for something the interest in this cosmetic. It looks good. But what's going on inside that column is the main thing. That's what's impacting it. And it's moving so fast that it's moving all the other air. I can't get technical with it, but it's moving all the other air molecules, and that's what you perceive as, oh man, that's bass. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a good question on the screen, and JW, leave this question up. But before we get to this, I want to ask you something real quick. Do you have any preference, or do you feel there's any performance difference between using a slot-loaded port or a square port or a round arrow port? What's your opinion on that?
There has been no discernible difference in SPL. Purposely look for SPL between a slot and a round. That has been proven because we have seen slots beat rounds and rounds beat slots. But in SPL purposes, as long as the port area on the slot is correct, an area port or circular port does have the benefit of making the box smaller than necessary because you don't have to calculate for the displacement of the square port. So you can make the port, and it can work with a smaller port area. I don't really technically use it, but you can, because I like to use port area. But it can make the box really smaller, and sometimes making the box smaller when you want to use multiple woofers, so that each woofer, so the box can be smaller while you're using the area port, enables you sometimes to put more woofers in the box, specifically for SPL purposes, because you don't have to count for losing so much with the slot. Now, so there is no difference between the two. One could gain you the ability to use more subwoofers, and the other, no, there's no difference between the two. Now, as far as audiophile and SQ, because remember I say I'm SQL, which means I want it to sound good, I want a little measure output. Now I'm in the middle ground. The SQ guys, they don't care nothing about the output. They want accuracy, so they want to go to the seal box. But some SQ guys use a ported subwoofer and get close to the response, very, very close to the response of a seal, even though they know there's still going to be some group delay, because if you're using a Helmholtz resonator, then you know you are recycling the back wave, and it's not going to release in time with the front wave. It cannot, because if that you're recycling that. In that instance, with SQ, some like to use a ported or aerial only. They'll never use a slot because they want the transitioning from one note to the next to be smoother, and you're only going to get that with the aerodynamic design of an aerial port, where it's highly flared, but it has no corners. So the transition from one note to the next, if you got a real keen ear, and you know they got that mic and stuff to detect all that, it's better with an aerial if you can utilize them. So it's to me, I don't know time I like to use the aerial. If I need to make the box smaller to fit in a particular space and he want to use a particular sub, he's really into the smooth from one note to the next. And when I say that, Kip, you know that most people can't hear that mess, man. You really can't hear it. I can. I'm pretty sure you probably can, but most of y'all can't hear there's a little nuance where you can know, hey man, that would sound better with aerial port, but it's real small. Go ahead.
Here for me is what I'll say is when it comes to tuning and everything, as long as you got the port, the area right, the tuning is going to be the same. What I will say is when you use an Aeroport, you don't have to use any effort to smooth around the edges. And so scuffing or air that's running past is already taken care of you as far as a problem. If you're doing a slot port and you want to get away from that issue, you do need to take the extra step to round over the port entrance, make sure there's no sharp 90-degree angles, because just like blowing across a Coke bottle, that can happen more so in a slot port because you're dealing with that flat edge, that piece of board that's the one side of that. It can be a problem. But if you round it over, to me,
you're fine.
I don't know. I don't know if one properly designed both ways that anyone would hear the difference.
You won't. But I do know that because I can use more port area with a slot, I like to use a lot most of the time. Why? Because at tuning, the port's louder than the subs. So why would you want to have a sub? The Aeroport can get away with using a smaller port area because it's more dynamic. But if I'm going for, man, I want maximum loudness, the maximum loudness box is going to be MB because I can dial that port area right where it need to be. With them Q Class 15, them Q Class 8s, now I put them JT. What's up, JT? I know you watching, man. Them, when we around here embarrassing people in Atlanta with 3,000 watts. We're doing 151 with 3,000 watts with 4-kicker Q Class 12 on 250, each pair on a 1500. And we use the area ports at the time so I can make so that each sub seeing more. They're actually seeing more than 3.25 with the SQ recommendation per sub. It is ungodly. 152 on music, and we're still breaking them in. But his port area, his port area is 13 square inches per cube.
That's a lot.
With area ports, and it pops from note to note, and it's ungodly. And we just play because he only play it like 2 days a week. Still breaking them in.
So we're going to take this last question real quick. Then we're going to get to the giveaways tonight, and then we got something we want to talk about with you, and then we'll watch the clock. And we got a few other good questions we'll ask. And we've already run the clock out on the show, like the joke is. I like to get the 90 minutes, folks. But we're going to do here last question real quick. From Jarhead for Life. MB, have you ever made a box with a passive radiator? Have you ever used one?
No, sir, I haven't. No, sir.
Maybe, just maybe, I need to send you a couple of our passive radiators and a couple woofers and have you play around with it and do a video on it and tell us what you think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll have to see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So with that said, stay right where you are. Don't move, MB. Stay here with me. But we need to draw the winners for tonight first and get that out of the way. So I'm going to pull a plug here so I can hear. Hey, Bill, do we have some winners? Yep, Bill's got us winners. Okay, folks. So as you know, tonight we've got a first, second, and third place winner. We do every Tuesday night. Third place, you're getting the shirt. You're getting the tag. You're going to get the set of EB300 earbuds. Second place, shirt and tag. You're going to get the Tabor 2 Bluetooth headphones. And then our grand prize winner tonight, and man, if we'd have had them, we'd have done 8s, because what better prize to use tonight than 8s? But we're just out of stock here right now. So grand prize tonight, you're getting the shirt, you're getting the tag, and you're getting a pair of L7 Q-Class L7 10-inch subwoofers. A pair of them.
Dang.
And if you want to get great performance out of them, maybe you need to reach out to our boy MB here on his channel and you two have a discussion about building a box. So with that said, Bill, who's our third place winner tonight? Winner number 3 is Michael H. from North Carolina. Michael H., thank you for tuning into the show tonight. You are our third place winner. You're getting the earbuds, you're getting the tag, and you're getting the t-shirt. Some things I need from you and from all the winners we announced tonight. First off, Bill will be sending you an email in the morning. If you want to reach out tonight, you're more than welcome to at social@kicker.com, but Bill will hit you. When he hits you, we need some things. We need a shipping address, and it cannot be a P.O. box, please. We also need your phone number, and this is sincere. In spite of all the fun we try to have on here, the only reason I want your phone number is no matter how we ship your prize to you, they have to have a phone number to contact you, and that's in case they can't find where to bring it to, the location, an address typed in wrong, or maybe they need to arrange a pickup between you and their hub location. Whatever it is, we need your phone number. It's only used for that. We use it for no other marketing purposes, and that's the truth and very sincere, so keep that in mind. And then last but not least, please confirm your shirt size. I know what it's like to be in a hurry and you hit a drop-down box and you meant to hit extra large and you hit small. And the last thing we need to send you a schmedium. I don't look good in a schmedium. I don't think you will either. So let's get you the right size shirt. So confirm that shirt size in the email. So winner number 3, Those are your instructions. Winner number 2, same instructions. Bill, who is winner number 2 tonight? Jason M. from Oklahoma. We got a hometown boy here. Jason M., congratulations, sir. Thank you for tuning into the show. You won you run the second place prize. You're going to get the Tabor 2 headphones, the license tag, and the shirt. Please follow the same instructions I gave for winner number 3. And that brings us to winner number 1 for the evening. Bill, who is our grand prize winner and walking off with a pair of Q-Class 10s.
Q-Class.
Congratulations to Raymond P. from Michigan. Raymond P., you are the grand prize winner tonight. Again, congratulations to all of the winners. Same instructions for all of them. You get the email from Bill. Please reply with a shipping address, no P.O. box. Give us your phone number and confirm your shirt size. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for entering the contest. We do that every Tuesday night, so be sure you tune in next Tuesday. We always have great prizes we like to give away to the people who are here, are part of the community. So with that said, we kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit already, and I know you actually posted a video on your channel.
Yeah.
Well, we've got you here. Tell me what's sitting in front of you right now.
Hey, Teresa, you come here, baby. Why everybody saying this thing red? This is red. Why is it red? How we rigged this?
MB, there's a couple cats that cruise the channel, and they're actually good dudes. They just like having some fun in the feed, but they always, and the thing is, those guys who say it's rigged, they've won too, so.
Hey, Tracy, I know you say you watched it, baby. I need you to come do something for me. Okay, maybe she might have went to sleep. I don't know. Okay, right here. This is, I remember you said, man, that's for a giveaway. I mean, the bill tell you. At first I said, nah. Then I thought about it. My wife said, nah, let's do this giveaway. Let's go ahead and be your first big giveaway on the channel. So, I had these L7Ts, so I made the box.
Got it.
Already, y'all seen these subs when I did the unboxing. I bought them from my distributor here in Atlanta. So I made the box for a F-150, 2019 and up, F-150. Okay. You will need a seat lift, the 2.5-inch seat lift for the Q-Class to fit. But I'm gonna tell y'all something I'm fit to do, because I have something I'm fit to present next. But this is the giveaway. That's the giveaway enclosure. It's stained black. It has, I think you're gonna do with the L7, the T's, or do you say you're gonna do with something? I don't know. I know I'm supplying the box. You're
supplying the box. So for everyone who's tuned in and listening, this is what we're launching right now. If it's not live yet, it will be live right after the show. But if you go to kicker.com/giveaway, we are now doing one of our extended run giveaways that we're in the habit of doing here. We're going to start people entered into this content. It'll be tonight after the show. The link may be active right now. If it's not, it'll be soon. And we're going to run this all the way until the 29th of next month. This is going to be run about 5.5 weeks. You have 5.5 weeks to enter the contest. We'll shut this contest down on the 29th at midnight. And then Tuesday, the 30th, which is going to be that last UnMasked show for the month, we're going to have MB come back on and join us, and we are going to draw a lucky winner on that night's show, and you're going to win this enclosure that has been built by MB himself. And here's what we're going to do. Right now, we're saying L7T subwoofers. That may change. You never know. I confirmed with MB that this enclosure will work with L7Ts. It would work with L7S, and it would work with L7Qs, which, as everyone knows, he's pretty enamored with L7Qs.
The beast. That's the beast.
So we're gonna say it's L7Ts right now, but if we get some L7Q8s in stock here in Kicker before the contest ends, we might let you upgrade to L7Qs on our side. We'll just have to see. So as it sits right now, it's for L7Ts. Does that answer your question okay there?
That's cool. That's cool. And like I said, this is going to need a 2.5-inch seat lift on this giveaway. But I'm working, and it'll be up on the channel soon. My son has a 2019 F-150 that I put some DB drive Neo 8s in. He now wants to step up. Well, he's going to let me try to put the Kicker C Comp R8s. And that will not, because of the mountain depth, we're thinking that it's not even going to need a seat lift. So that'll be like a just plug and play. Box, no seat lift needed. This one is customary. Everyone knows with a truck, you need to have a 2.5 inch seat lift so you can get the height and the volume needed. But we can do it with the KICKER Comp R8, I'm thinking, and it'll just be a straight no seat lift needed. If I can pull that off, oh man, that's gonna be great. Cause I'm not gonna build unless it's gonna sound good.
Right. Hey, Ernie, real quick, bring up my computer, my laptop as an asset real fast. I'm actually on the link for the giveaway, the KICKER MB Enclosure giveaway link. And folks, you can see it here. It is right here. It's kicker.com/giveaway. Right here's the link. It's active now. It's going to be active for the next 41 days. So it's one of those longer running contests that we like to do. And it's real easy to enter. Just scroll down here to the bottom, guys. It's going to say here, sign up for our newsletter. So you're going to click that. Boom. Sign up for the newsletter. You notice it now says you just unlock 77 more entries. Do what you need to do. But this is what you need to do. Just sign up for the newsletter. And when you do, it's going to enter you into the contest. But it's active. It's ready to go right now. It's kicker.com/giveaway. And you can go ahead and bring me back, Ernie. That's fine. I'm done showing that. And that's courtesy of our good friend and audio partner. And I'm going to use the word audio partner because he loves audio just as much as we do here, apparently. And I'm proud that we were able to do this in conjunction with MB Enclosure. It's going to be for 2019 Ford F-150, 2019 and up. You will need a seat lift kit. It's designed to hold either the L7Ts, the L7S, or the L7Q 8-inch drivers. Did I miss anything there, MB?
That's it. You knocked it all out the park. Tuned to 33 hertz.
Tuned to 33. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Tuned to 33 hertz. I'm going to bring up real quick here. Now, that covers the show. I'm looking at the clock. It's 9:12. I'm going to run the clock out to 9:15. If anyone has some good questions you'd like to get out to MB, now's the time to do it. We're going to run the clock to 9:15 before we shut her down. That'll put us 15 minutes over our normal run time. So Living Loud with Andy. If you haven't gotten enough of him, check out MB Friday night on the Rolling Thunder podcast. Yeah, you mentioned that to me. You're going to be on Friday night with Andy on Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, he said he made mention of it. I'm hoping we can pull it off so we can pull that off. And in closing, the reason why I recommend KICKER to a lot of people, especially just starting off, number one, the oldest car deal company in the nation, in the world. If you just starting, they have so many products and so many different price points and so many different levels. It'd be hard if you can't put a KICKER in your car, you probably ride a bicycle because they have so many different subs, so many different options they can give you optimal performance. It's efficient. You don't have to buy alternator with it, and you can. And like I said, they got so many options, man. And yeah, maybe I'm a little biased. I am a little biased at this point. But like I said, I'll be a boss for anybody and everybody. But if you're looking for something, I want to get banged now. Go ahead and get you some kickers, man.
You know what? You brought that up, and I'm going to make Tim work for just a second here. Tim, will you give me a close-up shot of these four woofers that are up on the table? These four right here. Will you move over there? There. Thanks, Ernie. So you talked about that. We kind of put these on display to talk about it. You know, we make a wide range of subwoofers.
Man, I'm finna make that video. Good God. That's the L7T, the Solarberg, and the QQ Class 8, man.
That's all three of them sitting right there. So exactly. Here's the L7T. This is the L7S. And this is the L7Q. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a mess is what I'm going to end up doing. But I'm going to take them off. I'm going to set them down because, you know, a lot of times people ask the question, well, why should I buy one woofer over another woofer over another woofer? Now,
look at that.
It's from a side view there, you can see this is an L7T, this is an L7S, and this is an L7Q. When you step, the first thing is I often have people ask me, says, well, does one KICKER woofer sound better? I mean, there's got to be, you made one sound good and you made one not sound good. I mean, that's the difference between KICKER woofers, right? And I have to stop and hit the pause button, take a deep breath and go, no. All of our woofers are designed to sound good. There's a signature sound that Steve Irby has, and that's how he wants these woofers to sound. Here's the thing. If this is an L7Q, this is a deep sub. This is a big motor. It's a big assembly. It's got a long throw to it. It's got a lot of X-Max. If you compare it, and I'm going to get them right up side by side, this is the L7S. The L7S is just a little bit less. So what do I get, Kip, if I go from an L7S to an L7Q? Well, the L7Q is designed, it's got more motor force, it's got more X-Max, it's got more travel. You're going to get more out of it. It's our premier subwoofer, but that doesn't mean the L7S sounds bad. That'd be a liar to say that. The L7S sounds great. But here's the thing: people go, well, how's the L7T? Why do you guys even make an L7T? What's the purpose of this sub? Well, here's the purpose of this sub. If you're dealing in an underseat situation in a UTV or an ATV, if you're dealing in a truck, a car, or someplace where you want to fit a woofer in a tight location, because our engineers figured out how to take the motor and basically do it inverted. They took the bump back plate and all that, and they inverted it up inside the speaker. This driver gives you great performance, fantastic performance. It's not going to have as much output capability as an L7Q. I'm never going to tell you that. If both of these were in optimum boxes, you're going to get more output from this than you are out of this. But here's the thing. This one's going to sound real good doing it, and this one's going to sound real good doing it. And you need to pick the woofer based on your application. And that's why we make so many different subwoofers, is because each and every one is application based. So hopefully, seeing them side by side and getting a view of that right there, we're going from T to S to Q, and then it's not an 8, so it's probably not a completely fair comparison, but since I got Tim here and he can do a little camera work, I'm going to go ahead and put this next to it, because someone in the feed actually asked the question, said, why don't you guys make speakers with over 20 millimeters of X-Max? Well, the thing I answer that question with is first off, X-Max does not tell you everything about a speaker. I'm just going to say that right now. X-Max is a teal small parameter. X-Max, by true definition, look it up, Google it if you like, but X-Max is length of voice coil minus height of top plate divided by 2. It's just a teal small measurement parameter. But you can have a speaker that has 10 millimeters of X-Max that moves a whole lot further than 10 millimeters. Understand, X-Max is a one-way measurement. So if you see an X-Max measurement that says 10 millimeters, that means from rest, that speaker moves 10 millimeters up, and it's still in the gap. It comes back to center and moves 10 millimeters back. So it actually has 20 millimeters of travel before it is out of the gap. Now, how far you get out of the gap that you're happy with is how far it sounds. That's a personal issue. When you start moving any subwoofer out of the gap, you're going to start adding distortion. You're going to add.
Say it again. Say it again. Your most output comes from what? Your best output. What's going to sound the best? Your X-Max. What they got it rated for your linear X-Max. That's where you're going to get your most clean output from. Stop trying to get, if you're an SPL guy, you want to use your coning surround to get that extra push. But that's when the distortion come in. That's why my Q classics sound so great. They sound so wide because I got them just rated power. In the gap, you can't beat them.
So when we get to that point, we got T, we got S, we got Q, and you know how MB feels about Q. And I'm going to try to disconnect him from this for a second. But when you ask the question why there's only so much X-Max, every speaker is designed for what it needs to hit the performance level it was designed for, and you cannot focus on just one thing. The size of a magnet does not determine performance. The length of the voice coil does not determine performance. There's not any one thing you can look at in a speaker that determines its overall performance. Just like you can't go out and look at a car and go, man, those are some high-performance tires. I bet that car is fast in Connersville. Just looking at the tires does not tell you anything about that whole car's performance. And speakers are the same way. But if you're looking to just move a lot of air, or as I like to affectionately call it, if you want to float bricks and babies, that's what the new L7X is going to be about. And you want to talk about X-Max, this driver is going to have 33 millimeters of X-Max. I didn't say mechanical excursion. I said 33 millimeters of X-Max. So you're looking at a driver that's going to have 66 plus millimeters of clean linear travel before it gets out of the gap. Right here. So I hope that answered your question about X-Max and 20 millimeter and why we don't make them. Well, we do. We make lots of drivers that they are designed to do what they do, but X-Max is not the deciding factor on overall performance of a speaker. There's so many other factors that go into it, and probably one of the most important ones, this is the motor. The enclosure is your transmission, and if you don't mate the motor and the transmission up properly, you're not going to get down the highway the way you want.
Take me to the king. I know what that solo X gonna bring. Take me to the king. 33 one way. Oh, man. Good God about it.
Well, 33 one way, and it's got the thing that I know you're focused on, which is cone area. So it's the square format. It's going to have the cone area, and it's going to have 33 millimeters of extent travel one way. So when we get to that point, there is no way that we're not going to have to get together and do a collab project with the L7X and an Enclosure. You know it's going to happen.
You know what's going to happen. Take me to the king. That's all take me to back to we came to throne. They never vacated. And take that how you want. Man, everybody know when the Solo X was out with 2010, 2009. Them guys in the lanes, oh man, he got a Solo. Man, it's custom subwoofer builders. Dave Lee, he'll tell you, he'll buy it. I want that Solo X motor. They're eagerly waiting. All those old heads and those of us who are really cardio enthusiasts, we respect, man. Kicker is back to compete again. And what y'all said they left when they went to Walmart with the entry level. What you gonna do? And then find me a subwoofer. And then let me still think about the Solo. Find me a subwoofer that look like it. It's not a carbon copy. All the technology, the features, the cones made of 3. I think the Solo S cone made of more than 3 pieces. Find me a subwoofer that look like it. I'm talking this the cone, the technology. It's not a carbon copy. This is take me to the king. That's all I got to say. We gonna see what that Solo X brings. Yeah.
So I'm watching the clock. We've run it out. JW, if there's one last question, throw it on the screen. If you don't, let me know. Roll? Okay, that's it. So, folks, Thank you for tuning in tonight. We've obviously gone way long tonight, and longer than we wanted to, but when having a guest as special as MB on the show, I knew it was going to happen. Thank you to all the winners tonight. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. If you haven't already entered the contest for the MB Enclosure, be sure you do that between now and the 29th. We're going to run that contest, and we'll have MB right back here on the 30th to announce that winner. MB, you got any quick final words before we get out of here?
Ain't no perfect subwoofer. But Kicker coming real close. We love them all, though, man. Love cardio. Base on, man. Run what you run. Run what you run.
MB, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a wonderful evening. Tell your wife thanks for letting us have you for a little while.
Hey, man. Thank you, man. Thank Kip. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. I'm all. Thanks. I'm humble.
Catch you soon. Thanks, man. So, everyone, that was MB from MB Enclosure joining us here on Kicker Unmasked Live weekly on Tuesday night. Thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Hopefully you had a good time. If you've got any questions related to Kicker product, remember, you can always get those answered. We try to get them all in the feed. We know we never get them all, but always reach out to support@kicker.com with any of your email questions or call us, 800-256-0808. Our texts are here available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we can answer any questions, design help, whatever you need. Our text here, Kicker, can handle it. So as always, it's my pleasure to be in front of the camera trying to keep this train on track. This is Kip Litzy, your host. We got Tim behind camera, as always, JW and Ernie in the back, making sure all the switching goes off like it needs to, and Mr. Bill Frog monitoring the feed, monitoring the social, make sure it's all going out just how we like it, Clark. It's our pleasure to be the 5 knuckleheads representing the entire Kicker family here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We had a great time. Hope you did. Be sure you send your suggestions our way. Enjoy the rest of the week. Have a great weekend. Be safe and have fun. Until then, we will see you next Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time, right here on the Kicker Facebook and YouTube channel. Good night, everyone. Thanks a bunch.
Welcome to Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Good evening, everyone. I like to keep the show to about 90 minutes. Kippolicious. Be sure you get that schmedium every Tuesday night. Full tilt boogie. Kippolicious. Good evening, everyone. Twisted Tea. Good evening, everyone. Be sure you get that medium. Twisted Tea. Hippopotamus. Cold beverage. Medium. Midler. Out in BFE. Out in BFE. At the end of the day, good evening, everyone. Tuesday. Full Tilt Boogie.